Okay, one shot about his catchphrase is enough for a day. Besides, he hasn't even said it yet by the halfway point of the season. And welcome back to the heart of the stories we tell. And today's episode is my continuing thoughts on Luke Cage. Having watched a few more episodes, I have to say, my original opinion's holding pretty strong with it being an Electrum, although it does have a few moments of gold. I'm really enjoying the dialogue. The actors are all very strong. All in all, there's still a couple surprises in there that made me go, oh, I didn't see that coming. And that takes a lot for me to say. This is very noticeably Luke's heroic journey. Very specifically, he's already had to turn down the call, have some tragedy, and be able to answer the call. His mentor has died, and all in all, it's only been a couple of episodes. It's very strongly written, it's very tight on information. It has an ongoing theme of redemption, and what does it take for you to outgrow the person you were and become the person you want to be? And that's a pretty strong theme in today's day and age. It's obviously still a fugitive story, and I am hoping that we touch on that a little bit more. But before I get into specifics, let me throw this up here. So once again, it's stop. Spoiler time. Let's break this down by the episode. So episode 2. Episode 1 was a slow burn and went right into a big bang for the end, but episode 2 kicks it right into high gear. I like how the out-of-order plot begins and ends with the desolate Luke Cage, who's just lost everything and is in the part of the hero's journey where he's answering the call. The villains are at least a threat a little bit to the people around Luke, because as we see, his mentor Pop bought it. I still don't see this guy as anything other than a poor man's kingpin, but I'm hoping episode 3 is going to fix that. Episode 3 shows us a more in-depth look at Detective Knight. The chess analogy is pretty good, with Cage saying he's going to knock down his army. I'm still liking the Crispus Allen subplot, the idea of someone like Maria really wanting to help Harlem out, but working with the criminals because that's where she can get her funding, is an interesting way to make someone at least a little bit gray. I'm surprised they've only mentioned any of the other Marvel stuff in small back and forths here and there, and mostly in the first episode. Then came the halfway point of the episode, and I was like, the combat through the hall. It was just so meh. I mean, there's no real threat. Luke Cage isn't Daredevil. He's Hulk. He's Superman. He can just walk through that stuff. I sure hope those new guns they're talking about that can shoot through the side of a tank really do provide some sort of challenge, because so far, we've got nothing. As of 3 hours into this series, there's no direct threat to Luke. Misty and her partner have this great conversation, though, about vigilantes, and that's kind of a Civil War Easter egg. Do they register or not? Then wow, did I miss this one. I said the partner was going to die. Nope, turns out he's scum. 3 hours in, and he turns out to be a bad guy who strangles a kid. 4 episodes in, and everyone has gotten better and better. In the aftermath of the explosion that Luke and his landlord are trapped in, he remembers his stint in prison, and there's a great juxtaposition between the being trapped there and being trapped in prison. It's a really great way of splitting the story in flashback and modern. I also think it's a great way to look at his origin. They did modify the origin a bit, but since it was written before I was born, I'm glad they updated it here and there. We finally get to see him say Sweet Christmas, which makes me happy, and he does it well in the classic shirtless bracer and tiara look. The punching out of jail, then going to punching himself out of the rubble, is another great juxtaposition. He was trapped by something, and now he's not because of his powers. We also get an explanation as to why Luke's wife had the information she didn't back in Jessica Jones, and I guess that his powers and her powers are really tied together more than we thought. However, we'll look at that as the episodes go on. All in all, let me just say, 4 hours into this, it's a really good series. I might even end up upgrading it by the end from Electrum to Gold. Right now, I'm looking at it and saying, all of the characters are strong, all of the characters aren't stereotyped. Yeah, there's a couple in there, but for the most part, everyone has their own unique outlook, and it's a really great role model for young black men and women to look up to. 2 thumbs up so far. I'm not going to get to watch the rest of the episodes until later tonight, so just hit that subscribe button and share this video, and then join me back here next time as we take a walk through the heart of the stories we tell.